Alright, so Pedopathy Town. Essentially, there was cities that essentially have like flashy brain groups that attempt to build a scar child the most in the most authentic way. And then, since I'm that person, I went around and found the cities that had like they're essentially drug metro informant groups with cops and Mormons and sex freak AA groups. They all have their Craigslist buttholes and dick pics and shit. So, Bozeman, they're pretty close. And so is Missoula. And so is Atlanta. And then, essentially, Columbia, South Carolina. It's essentially equal to all this. These are the groups that attempted to be the most Satanist. See, they just like, here's the cities where everybody tried to be the Satanist, most Satanist. They know not to be a sociopath in pedophily way, but they like to be like furries now, basically. And that essentially this will set the standard that all of them will be doing eventually. And essentially what their version of ghost is to basically not talk about it but blatantly do it everywhere. And then all their victims they attempt to lump in as a part of their world. This is how dumb they get. Yeah, I mean they do dumb on purpose. They act like they're fucking superior for their fucking bitch brain shit and stuff. They think that being defiant to laws and they think it's what takes them to the top level of psychoness and shit. Nah. That's what they all do. They act like they're superior on top of the fucking world. For that shit. They also act like they control people's human brains and shit. So, one of the things about my process is to make them fucking dumb as fuck. And to be dumb as fuck. And to make them blatantly try and show people how they control brains and shit. Because that's how fucking stupid they are. And then you're supposed to shoot them and kill them. You know, none of them do anything subversive because essentially their whole world is about being a psycho that's blatant. So, all this stuff That's a sound association in my speaker that one of these psychos in this town. You know, these are the cities I researched with the speakers, and all they were doing is sound associating like this kind of shit. See, there's like a sound that like I'm trained to because of doing my research that has me doing that. And so those are the people that essentially attempted to do the most authentic enchantment shit. And that they're in the police force and they're the informants for all of these cities. And they're in the drug metros for all these cities. And you're supposed to kill them. Basically, these are the ones that like pedo-sealed on the whole White House during the Trump administration. These are the ones that took like contracts from anybody in the world to be manipulating the Trump administration. Most of those idiots are fucking pretty susceptible to sound speaker stuff. They really are. You know, they think dumb anyways, but in reality, a lot of the issues in the government is these people implement getting people through sound speakers to implement like exploits and dumbness. They're in these cities. They're the pedo sealers in these cities. You just killed it. Uh, they're all Islamic terrorists. I basically, well, the government was a little behind the times on some of this stuff. I basically isolated them to an Islamic terrorist system, and then I locked it. I couldn't prevent any of this speaker access, but I could lock them to this like AA groups, cop groups, informant groups, drug metro groups. You know, they sat around doing 50 fuck clubbing at everybody in speakers. And that type of shit on dark web will have all the hackers shoving them into Islamic terrorist contracts. And so then I was able to lock them into those. And then they battled to do the most perfect, authentic Satanism or something. You know, it'll be like, in Augusta, I was at like a homeless shelter. Some fucking Baptist, like 20-year-old fucking stupid little Mormon-y. Okay, like the guy that went tried to do a plot at a mosque and shit. That guy's the exact same way. I round up every one of them in a theoretical dark web. It isolates them away from the rest of the tech nerds. You know, mostly what they do is torture like millions of people. And then I was able to get them locked into a more isolated system. And then you're just supposed to kill them. These are the people that are doing the Islamic contracts in the United States. See, they'll all have opinions about killing me. They'll all have opinions about me being an Islamic terrorist, they will be using all this weird Tea Party QAnon ideas and shit. And that, in the end, those are the people that are doing the Islamic contracts. They do like the furry shit, all that stuff, pedo stealing. They act like they control people's brains and shit. They're the ones that act like I found this psycho and now I control with cops and shit. They're the ones that have been isolated to a dark web that has them believing that the rest of the world will believe them about controlling somebody's brain based on changing auto tunes in a microphone. Mormon temples. This is where I tried to make it really easy for our government to really isolate down who the fucking... See, like even now they're like changing things in this video to be like feeding into some delusional world that they believe is like Islamic terrorism filter and shit. That's the kind of dumbness. Dumb knows who these people are. Dumb's ready to kill these people. These people are blatant, like, Islamic terrorists that are ultimate sociopaths that have done this enchantment stuff. Dumb feeds them this filter shit. The whole idea is that the military intelligence that locked them into this, that is literally what their whole purpose on dark web is. And that I attempt to help them. See, the whole idea is that the checklist that the White House would have, I've already forced them to go through that. I forced them to go through that so that they can just give you like a checklist. And they're like, well, I went through this, here's all, they'll have all the virtualized documentation, everything. It's meant for them to see the pink. Because they want to show these people, they want to show the world that if you take it this far, then dumb will walk right up to your fucking face and shoot you in the fucking face. And that it's a psychological, like, effective counter-op to what people do in the dark web, because these are like the hacker contracts. And so if everybody starts getting shot, these people already checklist what our government would kill anyways. 2 times what they would. I seeded the Pentagon and White House's checklist. These are the people that did all the cheating for Donald Trump. That's why they're still alive. That's why I said, here's like the places where all of them are. And so if you just hack every computer with national security, you'll end up finding them. Because you won't be able to hack their computer. You know, the government, they know how to use the Russian dark web to hack the computers. They know how to use their Chinese one. they know how to use like a Assad or a Pakistani or Afghanistan kind of one. And if they still can't, that'll be these people. Currently, they're on like a loop. See, when they do loops, they attempt to like. So I did like Muhammad's birthday. So here's like a balance in the spring where they include me in their weird loop. Where they were doing this filter and then they were like trying to get these mothers against drunk driving and cops to view me as a terrorist and shit. They're dumb. No, intellectually. No, let's try to with those people. See, they're under such a belief of never accepting not being part of the agency. See, they're part of this. Those Mormon kids will have a Mormon temple that'll basically scream in their fucking head and make them stop. And that, but that those Mormon kids will still be so obsessed about all this stuff that essentially these people, they start doing this weird filter shit. And that these people are the ones that like relentlessly never stop and shit. Mormon Temple can get these dumb Mormonies to stop the moment that they aren't constantly monitoring them. They'll go right back into doing it. They will. Pedophiling, torturing, doing terror contracts and shit. They will. It's like when I showed the picture of the guy that was trying to do the terror plot, basically. That person, those Mormons around here, or in these other cities, they would have screamed in every single fucking one of their heads. But you gotta watch them 100% all the time. Because they're like hackers. Where it's like, the NSA is not watching me. Encryption, encryption. Cuck, fuck, bitch, bitch. Cuck, fuck, bitch, bitch, or something. And then they start hacking again or something. It's like that. Like, it's similar to that. These are the ones that do the like finding the person that isn't the terrorist the most. And then they try and psych out people on that person being a terrorist. That. So I isolated them down to a system that has my man profile being the top person in the dark web. And then they bitch move. And then they insinuate or something. And that everybody else in that dark web will be this. And that they'll be the ones that they essentially like to be the most psychopaths about everything. And the most torturing of enchantment children and shit. The SRA victim children. So you just kill them. They like to torture SRA children that essentially have these military guys that take copies of my profile and they find those children. With military moms, it's like they found these Mormons trying to do the same thing, and then they were letting these people torture them and shit. And then I found dumb with dumb military mom. Man, they went around and found all these fucking people. And you're supposed to kill them. And so, like I said last night, they won. They know every. Yeah, it's like when Dumb and his military wife were being smart. That is where all information is like, oh, don't do this because they'll be doing this, and oh, don't do this because they'll be doing this, and that's where part of my profile is like when somebody finally is smart about the enchantment children, then they get told what not to do and shit like that, and what to wait for. See, they just find them. Those people blatantly do blatant. They have whole Green Berets and Navy SEALs that are, because they get told too. They psych off them into being blatant so that they can be listed. Then you're supposed to kill them. And then Mormon can scream in these people's speakers. That gives them a life. Basically. And because they attempt to make people die. These people do. Like right now, this filter will have like white supremacists viewing me as an Islamic terrorist. And that these people are like trying to make me die. With a filter. This is what it gets to with this psychopping shit on dark web. And that the psychopaths, see, I'm this and this, but I'm this when the psychopath pedophiles attempt to build ways to get white supremacy to murder me, which is what it is. They do it in some sort of weird, dumb, retarded, like leasty equals mosty ways. That's just my dick. That's just my dick. Because I have a prick, so it's like it shrivels up like really small, and then is long like a 6-inch penis, and that's just meant for witch. But they're these weird pedophiles that are psychopaths that like to build these children. They like to find weird psychopping ways to do least to create murder of enchantment children. They're simpletons. They just are trained at stuff that nobody knows about. They're just simpletons, stupid little fucking pedophiles. All their methods are fucking dumb and retarded. And then none of them were able to do anything other than little weird fucking the mamas of those white supremacists. See?